Why are we cooked? Why are we cooked? I have to know. Hello, Ricola. Yes, I got a panel. I got a panel at Philadelphia. Now I just need to, yeah, no, get out there. Might have the airline ticket, but, if you want to help a boss get to Philadelphia, what's this world coming to? Thank you for thinking. Congratulations on the panel. I appreciate it. That does mean a lot, actually. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. You know how else we're cooked? We have a non-profit organization in Australia trying to say what is okay to be on the web, all in the name of feminism, but not really. More along the lines of, what's the word for it when there's feminism and they're kind of radical and they exclude trans people? What is that word? Huh. Oh yeah, they're a bunch of turfs. Yeah, they're a bunch of turfs. And hello, Kai. How's it going? But yeah, so Pathway to Hell is paved in good intentions. I mean, here's the deal. I don't think they actually have good intentions. I think maybe like the people at the top, I don't think have good intentions. And hellos are wrong. How it goes it. I find it hard to believe that the people at the top of this organization have any sort of good intentions. If you saw the little thumbnail I did, and I put how they like have effectively like kind of canceled Fansly, Steam, Itch. They didn't say anything about Fansly, but they talk a lot about OnlyFans on their site, so it's not too much of a stretch to believe that they might be the cause behind that stuff. It's not too much of a stretch. And they are currently going after Twitter. That is their next step. They want to get rid of all adult content on Twitter. Yeah, they got itch.io. They got Itch. Itch de-indexed all of their adult content. Does that mean they removed it? No, but they are going to go through a thorough review and check what has been on and what hasn't. I think they are so boomer and media illiterate they don't know that Fansly exists, but that's the thing. They have mentioned OnlyFans multiple times on their website, and I checked this out. I do believe that their calls to payment processors are part of the reason why Fansly was hit. Twitch needs to get off the fence. Wait, Twitch? Twitch needs to get off the fence for what? What is Twitch? Their leaders also praised cuties. Yeah, I haven't been able to verify that one. I can't verify that one. It seems like that one seems really hardcore. So I'm hesitant to say that they did. But the evidence I've seen has been pretty damning, to be honest. So link it if you don't mind, if it's still on their X/Twitter. So they want to have adult-ish content on Twitch, but they don't want to just make it an 18+ website. I mean, this type of stuff is the exact reason why they wouldn't make it an adult website, because they will lose payment processor stuff. Twitch is a whole nother story. I do think they will eventually come to Twitch. I do believe that this collective shout group will eventually go after Twitch. Currently, they're going after Twitter. Twitch will be next. So there's no doubt in my mind. This group has seen what kind of power that they have by doing essentially phone call campaigns to payment processors, and they have made a lot of progress. So it's scary. It's absolutely terrifying to think of what can happen next. So Twitter will cave so easily? I don't know, actually. I do not know. Elon has enough to throw around that he might just say no. Um, Elon is not a good guy, but he also doesn't like getting told what to do. So I kind of have a feeling that, can you believe this? No, I cannot. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. We are back in the days of phone campaigns, guys. Phone campaigns. They actually work, apparently. For anyone who doesn't know why we're talking about this, let's back up just a little bit. So recently, Steam announced that they are getting rid of adult content on their platform because of credit card processors. Shocking all of no one for caving so easily. Then itch.io, which has built itself as a platform for people just saying, you know what, I'm gonna have whatever I want here, has also caved and de-indexed all their adult content and said that they're going to be going through a thorough review. itch.io kind of passed the buck a little bit. They passed the buck along to say, you know what, this is the group that caused it. So it's curious. See, okay, that's the thing. If it's on the Wayback Machine, that means they did delete it. So, I don't know. Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal. The trick is how much of this is coming from the credit card processors that say that LGBTQ is adult content, and how much of this is coming from the actual group saying this is what the adult content is. Now, get to decide what you're allowed to like. Oh, absolutely. They always have. They always have. It's just that it's kind of crazy that they're being shown that they have this much power. So the group in question is Collective Shout. Collective Shout is very, very crazily strong for what it is. So they go down. They're going after a lot of things, and all in the mindset that this is like feminism and protecting women, like, which is actually a very good thing to do. I mean, no one's going to disagree that, like, you know, hey, by the way, maybe we shouldn't be objectifying women so much on the web. I don't disagree with that. I think that's great. But through their actions, they are basically not. It's not even just objectifying women anymore. It's literally to the point that you're erasing people from the internet. So their current campaign is ban porn on X, why Elon Musk needs to clean up his platform. And they've said that X is a playground for porn, which, you know, I'm not going to deny that. That absolutely is. They're like PETA. Yes, they absolutely are. They really kind of are. That's probably the nearest allegory that you could give them. They have good, when you just look at them from a distance, it's really good intentions, but the extremity is what's causing a lot of the issue. So this is what I would like to read directly on their website some of their viewpoints. So it's essentially, they say that labeling porn doesn't erase the harm it causes, normalizes sexual exploitation, shapes harmful sexual scripts, and as we pointed out since our inception, directly contributes to the epidemic of violence against women and children. The same tired arguments and why they're working. As always, defenders of porn's presence on X recycle the same excuses. Let's take a moment to dismantle them one by one. Excuse 1. It's artistic expression. Because nothing says high art like violent, degrading sex acts commodified for mass consumption. There's 20 years of empirical research and 135 studies across 109 publications showing that sexually objectifying media reinforces sexist beliefs, increases body dissatisfaction, leads both women and men to have a diminished view of women's competence, morality, and humanity, and desensitizes viewers to sexual violence. Calling it art doesn't change the damage it does. To an extent, I agree. But do I believe in the censorship of that? No. Like, there's a lot of really cool independent, like, pornographic studios out there. They do really good stuff. And not only do they not objectify women, a lot of women lead those companies. In addition, pornography actually offers a safe outlet for a lot of people who are queer to express themselves. It's about free speech. You know what's not free speech? The rampant online exploitation of women and children. X is in a public sphere, it's a privately owned platform with rules. Free speech does not mean a free-for-all with no accountability. If Musk can crack down on bots and ban accounts for impersonating him, he can absolutely remove pornography. If an adult were watching porn on their laptop and then called the child over to show them, what adult will be charged with a crime? How that adult will be charged with a crime? How is what Elon Musk allowing on X any different? In fact, Musk is doing the digital equivalent, knowingly providing a space where pornography is easily accessible to children, making it near impossible for young users to avoid exposure. Musk is essentially facilitating exposure to explicit content on a mass scale, normalizing harm while pretending it's just another aspect of free speech. Again, there are points in there. There are absolute points in there. But they're missing the point of, like, maybe the kid shouldn't be on Twitter. Is that a thought? Maybe the kid shouldn't be on Twitter. You know? And they say this. Parents should just supervise their kids better. Porn is no longer something kids have to seek out. It finds them. A mother on Facebook shared how her 9-year-old son was exposed to porn on the playground. My son's first exposure to porn came at 9 from a 10-year-old with a cell phone that had full data. The child was mocking other children about not watching Pornhub yet. He later on proceeded to pull up a video on the playground and showed unsuspecting boys who were sharing silly videos or watching gamer videos about Minecraft. As you can see, it had nothing to do with me having control of my child's internet usage. This isn't about bad parenting, it's about a digital environment so saturated with explicit content that avoiding it is nearly impossible. Maybe kids should be avoiding the internet for a little bit, you know? I'm just saying. And get those kids off social media and something like Minecraft, and it's like it's like banning steak because a kid can't chew. Exactly. Thank you, Sean. Yeah. Artistic expression versus high art is compilation that infuriates me. Yeah, exactly. It's stupid. Just change your settings, they say. Yes, let's rely on 13-year-olds to navigate X's labyrinth of safety settings the moment they sign up. Spoiler alert, they won't. The responsibility should be on the platform, not its youngest users, to prevent exposure to harmful content. No. No. Hey, Mala. According to the Children's Commissioner for England, X is the platform where young people are most likely to encounter pornography. 41% of kids who've seen porn online saw it on X. Okay. I believe that. Having cell phones at all, or at least internet-capable ones, should be legal. Yeah, why not? If we want to go to extremes, why does your kid need a cell phone with data? Why? Pretty sure I grew up without one. I was good. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Which that's my argument to pretty much everything. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Don't interact. That's good. Problem with pornography finds them is that's kind of true. A huge segment of this country thinks the LGBT visibility is exposure to pornography. We're going to be getting into that. They're going to be getting into that. Trust me. Normalization of violent and degrading pornography affects society as a whole. We can't just opt out of a culture that perpetuates sexual exploitation any more than we can opt out pollution in the air. This affects all of us. If you're seeing it, it's because you're interacting with it. Ah, yes, the classic blame the algorithm defense. Keep in mind, this is word for word, okay? This is not me, like, making up funny things. Except algorithms don't just serve content based on what you engage with. They also push viral, high engagement material, often regardless of whether a user explicitly seeks it out. Many users have reported seeing explicit content on their feeds without prior interaction with similar material. More importantly, minors and unsuspecting users should not have to tweak their online behavior to avoid stumbling across porn. The responsibility lies with X to ensure its platform isn't a minefield of harmful content. Here's the deal. Out of all things, I actually could get down, like, with them, like, getting rid of, like, a whole bunch of pornography on X. Most of it doesn't need to be there. But you do that, you open up the floodgates to what else are we going to get rid of? What is considered pornography? Keep in mind, the big definition of pornography in the United States is I'll know it when I see it. Like, I'm not even kidding you. That is pornography definition. Printed or visual material containing explicit description of or display of sexual organs or activity intended to stimulate erotic rather than aesthetic or emotional feelings. So, that's the thing, right? At what point does, for example, if I am a trans woman, and which I am, and I post a photo of me showing off like brand new titties that I am excited about, that could be seen as pornography. Reason being is pornography is not based on the person who creates it, but on the observer. So when you have stuff like that that's so incredibly subjective, it opens the door to bans on everything, which is part of why I believe these bans are going into effect for the LGBTQ with all these things happening. Because it's no secret that, like, you know, some of the most highly affected people on Steam, on itch.io, on Fansly are LGBTQIA. Because a lot of what we do is considered pornography just by existing, right? Push back on which one? Where are we pushing back on? Not Mr. Libertarian, but I gotta push back on this one. Push back on which one? Worst part of all this is just those groups that if they bully the payment processors, then they can censor whatever they like. Agreed, Iceman. I am actually in total agreement with you. Yeah, actually, Kai has this perfect. Straight romance night will equal fine, but gay romance being mentioned in passing, pornography. Take a look at 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey was absolutely heralded as, you know, an erotic novel. It wasn't smut. So, who decides what is inappropriate? That's the thing. It all, unfortunately, due to the definitions of how inappropriateness works, it's always subjective. It's always the person who is, or objective. It's objective. It's you. Like, you can decide that I am inappropriate just by me existing. Like, somebody could look at this and be like, this is pornography. Look at her. She's showing too much eye, you know? Say it's against the terms of service by payment processors, but you know what else is also against service violence, so is next Call of Duty game going to get removed too? That, no, because that makes money. That makes more money. When it comes down to it, payment processors won't touch what is bringing in a lot of bank too. Yes, actually, Jack, you're correct. A lot of this runs into the idea of, I mean, technically the Puritinazation of the law system. This is type of stuff that they would try to pull. Again, a lot of this, whether it is intended by the collective shout group or not, is absolutely silencing the LGBTQ. And it's extremely visible. Like, hell. Like, apparently there are people who have had their games delisted on itch.io for just being trans games. Now, not all of them. I noticed that I can still search and have trans games show up, but I believe that there has been a good amount that have been delisted just for expressing trans characters, you know? Same groups would eventually go after the Call of Duty, but they start with the primary target, which is queers. Yes, they start with the primary target, which is queers, under the guise of protecting women. As all TERFs do. Most times, TERFs are not coming out and be like, by the way, this is how we protect women, better laws for women's rights and all that. They do. Let's protect women by putting down men in our society. Oh, by the way, all you trans women are men. All you trans women are men, and hey, trans men, you aren't really men. You're women who are fooled into wanting to be a man by other men. That's the type of shit. Porn and gaming, they should go after Overwatch, but they won't. I mean, they're going to go after whatever they can go after, but they're not really going to target the gaming so much. They aren't going to target specific games. They're going to target places that distribute. They're going to target places that distribute. That's their first goal. So we have things like itch.io, which, let's face it, those adult games, they're probably going to be removed. It's going to be more than it's more going to be more than becoming unlisted. They're just going to be removed. Steam, I would find it hard to believe that those things are going to come back. Places like Fansly, sorry, furries, you're not coming back on that platform. All the hypnotiles were removed due to normies, and people like that's understanding of hypnosis think it's that word. Yeah, thank you for censoring that. Appreciate it. Because that is the power move. You call these payment processors, and the payment processors are already running a little bit more conservative. So I hate the thing that I'm seeing, which is the people say, call the payment processors, do this, or contact them. You have to understand, most of these groups are already running a little bit more on the conservative side. So I'm not sure how effective those call campaigns will be. It's like me calling up my grandma and saying, Grandma, I love you. She knows me, so she's already going to say she loves me. We're on the same page. That's what that's what the Shout Collective and the payment processors are like. But if I was to call up like Kai's grandma without ever talking to her and be like, yo, Kai's grandma, I love you. She's going to be like, who the hell is this? I need to call the police. Yeah. A little surprised this has never been litigated with payment processors. I think that may come up. I would not be shocked if it does come up. You know? Then when culturally with this ban, watch their argument more from anti-LGBTQ into more broad puritanical ideals like bad TV or even clothing brands. Oh, that's already going to come. But it's going to take a while for anti-LGBTQ. I'm going to be honest, Jack. That's a multi-year thing. I'm sick of this country making everything so sanitized and cold because of a bunch of miserable POS. Sean, this isn't just going to be America on this one. This one is kind of worldwide. I hope it gets litigated in the European Union, not the US. Me too. Better chance for stuff like that. There is an ACLU petition. Good. That's actually fantastic. But there's a call campaign or whatever, but really, what's the bottom line? Someone showed you some statistics of some sort, and now you can ban stuff? It's more along the lines. This is how it all runs, right? You have your collective shout calling up these payment processors saying, don't allow these companies to do this stuff. They get called, and the payment processors then contact the companies like Steam and say, because Collective Shout has said they were just trying to get one game removed from Steam, which technically they did. They got that game removed. I would appreciate that, Iceman. They technically did get that game removed, right? But the payment processors aren't saying, remove this game. The payment processors take it the next step and say, remove all games under this type of category. Now, could the Collective Shout be saying, we want these all removed? Then yeah, they could. But somewhere along the lines, it comes down to, well, who's at fault? It keeps going. Like, Collective Shout is making the calls, but maybe they might not be doing like as extreme as we think. And then the payment processors get the calls from Collective Shout And are they following the words directly of Collective Shout, or are they expanding upon that? And then the the platforms like Steam and itch.io get the call from the payment processors, but are they going above and beyond what the payment processors are asking, or are they towing the line? So there's so much here that there's so many parties at blame. There's so many parties at blame. I see a lot of people saying, don't blame Itch. Itch was coerced into this by the payment processors. No, Itch could have stood up. Itch could have stood up and said, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Same thing with Steam. Same thing with Fansly. They could have stood up and said, we're not doing that. So there is blame to be had on those people. I highly suggest not supporting Itch anymore. There are things that you can do as a creator to turn that support Itch down to 0. It should be 0. Process payments, that's it. Yeah, there should not be any sort of moral regulation from the payment processors at all. And I don't know how they are actually able to make leeway. How is Collective Shout actually able to make leeway to these payment processors? We are talking about payment processors, Collective Shout, and how they are effectively erasing the LGBTQ from the internet. Whoa. Probably in bed with each other? They might be. I don't know. There's so much that's so unknown on this. And that's kind of the scarier part of this. Because there's a lot of stuff that is just massively in the dark on this. Because it's happening so fast. And 2, we are just learning about stuff on this. Yeah, I would love a gay payment processor. Pay me in queer coin. Makes me really wish to have. Makes me have to try so hard when so much is already stressful. Unfortunately, that is the nature of the beast, son. But yeah. They don't deny actually commenting to the payment processors. This is a press release that they sent out from July 11th. It's awful from what I've read, but the reality is if a group this small can cause this much of a few calls, it happened with or without them eventually with another group. Absolutely. So that's the thing. While I know the internet is going to blow up over Collective Shout, I think the real fault lies with the payment processors and with the platforms for giving in to this. So I'm gonna link over to their thing where they gave that's their open letter to the payment processors to get rid of games on Steam. In that they also mention itch.io? I believe they do. Yep. We request that you demonstrate corporate social responsibility and immediately cease processing payments on Steam and itch.io and other platforms hosting similar games. They name both Itch and Steam in that. So, that said, there is some definite pushback as of a couple days ago, because people started learning that this is what they're from. This is who is behind this. Same stuff as when the App Store made Tumblr and Twitter restricted all content by default in order to stay. Yeah. I mean, but that's always been Apple. Apple has been bad with that. I want to take a look at their history and see what they are proud of here. They don't say that as much. They have a whole list of their Q&A. They are highly, highly against OnlyFans and places like Fansly. How many bets do you think Collective Shadow is behind the Discord thing as well? They're making extremely strict rules in the UK. I am unfamiliar with the Discord thing, Frank. Could you fill me in? I am not certain that... I'm pretty certain that, like, this would have happened no matter what. As Skrunkliff put it. Like, this was just a time bomb waiting to happen, you know? The bigger issues, the conservative groups out there, much larger than Collective Shadow, are going to see this as working tactic and do it themselves. Oh yeah. In fact, the fact that like places like Steam, Itch, and Fansly have rolled over so quick basically has told the payment processors that, oh, well, guess we can do this. Guess we can do this now. Again, I'm thinking Twitch is next. Basically in the UK for Discord, they are having everyone have to use an ID now to use the app. Ooh, wow. That's kind of wild. I mean, we are going to see this happen on Twitch. They are going to go after Twitch at some point. So anybody who likes streaming on Twitch, get ready to have your content completely criticized and reviewed. Yeah, let's think of all the places that they are going to try to erase people from, because I assure you that this is absolute LGBTQ issue. Anything where you message people, for the most part, you need an ID now in the UK. What the hell? That's something. That is wild. Happens to YouTube as well. YouTube's already been pretty strict. Like, YouTube, here's the thing. YouTube will take down my video if I'm like too much. They'll immediately do that. Twitch, you can get away with a lot on Twitch. I've been having a nice little discussion with somebody about the pie shock and how people get away with that on Twitch. That is for another day. I don't agree with it. I think streamers who use it are kind of scummy and trash, but we will get into that another day. That's not a comment for today. But the fact is, streamers can get away with using like things like that on stream. It's only a matter of time before somebody says, hey, why are we allowing this, you know? We'll withhold money and payments from you unless you do that. They banned NSFW content this June in your state? Like, banned it or made it ID restricted? Only one live was taken down because I played copyrighted music. I swear in every single one of my vids. That's fair, Garbear, but it's still YouTube is a little bit more strict on stuff. Sorry. Georgia made it ID restricted. Okay, that's different than banned. ID restricted is different from banned. Just so you're aware. It's how prohibition started. Like, obviously, let's ban abhorrent pornography games. It's at any label, any mention of LGBTQ. Yeah, oh, agreed. Not gonna disagree with you on there. Yeah, there are alternatives between the ID ban and stuff like that. You can always use like what's it called? What are those things called where it looks like you're from a different area, proxy or whatever? Well, yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people don't feel safe giving their ID, which is part of... And you know who really doesn't feel safe giving their ID? lots of trans folks out there. VPN, thank you. I couldn't think. Everybody's saying VPN. I'm sorry. Yep, ID restricted equals they now have a list of people that look at whatever. Exactly. They all have that list. If you give over your ID, they are going to know what you were looking at, what you were doing, and if you don't match up to that. Trying to verify some information that could be very helpful. Please do. It's actually only going to get worse for women since it's out the lawless territory like it was for alcohol. Yeah, it's none of this is going to actually help women. None of this is going to help women. This doesn't help women. This doesn't make things safer for kids on the internet. All this does is make it so life is harder for people who don't fit inside that norm. Everyone in the UK should be using a VPN pretty much 24/7, though that's another thing you have to pay monthly for, and that if you want anything decent. Apparently a bill that is going to be talked about in Congress that could stop this from happening. The thing, will it stop it and make it retroactive and fix things that happened, or it will just stop more? I have a feeling that it's just going to, if anything, it's just going to pause it until they find different ways to put it down. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. Keep in mind, I love this thing that itch.io literally prided itself back in 2022 saying itch.io is not for prudes. If you click our link, please be careful about what you might see, which is actually warning enough, right? That is warning enough. But now they're back down, right? I have a feeling they will. I have a feeling art sites will be next. You could pass some kind of law that stops payment processors from blocking legal transactions. Places like Steam should have no excuse to walk back. But the thing is, if that requires more work, and will Steam take a look at what they should have excuse to not walk back? I mean, I get what you mean. But I question whether they will. Purely on the fact that I don't know if they're... I want to know how much Steam is hurting right now from this, what happened. Is this just a drop in the bucket for them? Or is this actually painful? Like, itch.io, I think, is feeling a lot more pain than Steam, because itch.io had a lot more adult games on it. It's S401, Fair Access to Banking Act. I'll take a look here. I'll throw that up on my thing to look at. Fantasy-driven stories like Lord of the Rings, because it's not appealing to collective shout. I mean, that's the thing. Whatever is not appealing to this one group, and let's be fair, it's not just one group. It's this very, very loud conservative minority. Whatever is not appealing to them, i.e. queer people, is going to get the axe, you know? Satanic Panic Mark II? You're not wrong. You're not wrong on this. You're not wrong. I do see itch.io wanting to, like, at least stand up and fight back a bit, but they aren't. That's the thing. They aren't. They should still be held accountable. They would hate a webcomic like Homestuck for its gay and LGBT representation and try to take it down. Well, does Homestuck make money? Because that's where they're able to take things down, is how things make money. I don't know anything about Homestuck, love. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like it. I know absolutely jack about it. Because the things that are going to be hurting are people who make money. And at the end of the day, this hurts LGBTQ creators a lot, because a lot of LGBTQ creators are the ones who are creating stuff like this. Sure thing, Iceman. As long as it requires money, to live, yeah. Twitter is hell and awful and accessible, but it's a no thing, and it has history, and people can navigate it and help each other, and it's a measured risk. It does make money from the physical prints of the webcomic. See, then they would go after the publisher. And that's a little bit different. I haven't seen them go after it. Actually, never mind. They have gone after Playboy. Let's see. Their site is so broken too. Oh god, they need a better website. All the content is scattered to the shadier parts of the web, then it's going to get so much worse for creators. For viewers and the minors, they claim to be protecting by sending them to worse places. Agreed. Yeah. Now, they all Collective Shout is doing is saying that they are trying to go after the R word and I word games. You know? And they really do absolutely hate Playboy and Pornhub. And they hate OnlyFans as well. So, yeah. Finding out what things they really, really are against. I mean, to be fair, even the worst things have some bright points. They hate Andrew Tate. I'll take that. But one weird thing. Do you know one place that they're against the Collective Shout that you wouldn't think that they would really be against? They have a supreme problem with Etsy. You know, the crafting site. The site for small creators. They don't like Etsy. You know why they don't like Etsy? Because people sell, like, you know, sexual stuff on there. Yeah, they're really against Etsy. No. Well, to be fair, if you go on Etsy and you look up stuff, oh my god, you can find some cool stuff. I've bought many a thing from Etsy that is lewd, because, you know, I like lewd stuff. But that has become harder and harder to find on Etsy, and now I know why. Like, I used to buy... There's one shop that I bought a whole bunch of stuff from that is a primarily gay site, gay store, and it is now not in existence on Etsy. Due in fact probably to this type of stuff. And I just went to Etsy and immediately had something amazing pop up. And I kind of want to get it. God. Beautiful. I need to find a good picture to show you guys. Just... I'm doing alright, Chip. I'm doing alright. I need to show this to you guys, actually. Sorry, I got distracted. Allow me a little bit of distraction in my weird thing. Alright. I want you guys to imagine Possum Abby, but she looks like that. Tell me that's not cool. Imagine me as a possum looking like that. Right? Isn't that amazing? Like, I support the furry community. I have a gay friend who's a furry. Crazy. I'm a furry. I like being a furry. Wear that to the panel. Kai, I don't have money to get this. That is money that I do not have, okay? Alright, Kai, give me $60. Give me $60. How about that? Jeez. Silly. Hey, Al. Is that a silly possum hat? No, that is a silly possum mask. That is a silly possum mask. It is a full-on mask. Hold on, I'm just gonna... Can I just show you guys the screen? Give me a second. I'm just gonna show you this. I'm sorry. Let me be distracted for a little bit. We've been talking serious stuff a lot. We've been going serious quite a bit, so I want to be a little bit silly, okay? How do I make it bigger? Let me make it bigger. Let me make it bigger. Look at that. Look how cute that is. Oh, I saw someone wearing that in the street. I might be murdered, right? But it's cute. It's cute. Look, it's a little... They're brides being posses. Big. It's big enough. Big enough. Sorry, it's cute. It's cute. And I needed to stop streaming, like, for that. You want to dance in the forest with them? Yo, I want to get that in, like, Dance in the Forest, too. It's so cool. It's a burlap sack made into a possum mask. Join the Poss cult. Yo. You have no idea. Anyhow, that's my silliness for the day. I'll add that to my throne or something like that. Pop. Go back. Like some lutes and flutes planes. Yo, I would. I would totally go around. I'd get a robe if I wore that to a con. I'd have to like fully embrace, like, you know, a cult possum girl. I would give her a little bit of a wig. I would give her pink hair. I would put one of my wigs on it. But I like how it has real teeth. God. It has real teeth on it. Ah. Sorry. I got distracted. Sorry. I'm allowed to get distracted sometimes. I apologize. Dude, it's like Mari. Who the hell's Mari? I don't know who Mari is. I don't know who Mari is. Sorry. Wait, it gives me greasy... Give it greasy wig like the pig head from Saw. Yeah, greasy pink hair wig. Yeah. Kai. Again, I totally would. Give me $60 and I will. Sorry, I'm a broke girl. I'm saving up. I gotta save up. I gotta, like, afford a hotel room. So, yeah, probably not going to happen, but it's cute. Anyhow, beyond all this stuff that's happening right now, I think it's really important to mention, just to get a little bit back on track, I think it's really important to mention that we have all these things happening. It's so important to support those creators right now. Hi, Vicky. Hello. What do you think about all this nonsense going on with the internet being Puritinized and erasing the LGBTQ from the... I went to go get cheesecake ice cream today. It was amazing. So my start of the day was good. Yo, rock on. I might get some sherbet after stream. Stay in a hostel instead. Okay. Got a link? Got a linky link for me of a good hostel to stay in? Oh, sorry, I need to lay down just a little bit. My butt's still hurting. It's kind of crappy. It is. It's absolutely crappy. But here's what you can do. Find your people who are creating adult content, good queer adult content games and LGBTQ games, and support them. Find ways to support them. But you know what? I'm going to tell you straight up. If you give them money through PayPal, if you give them money through Ko-fi or anything like that, be very careful with what you write in the messages, because those will knock you down. So if you can support people, support them. They deserve it. Guy, probably not right now. You can link it in the server. That would be a good place to do that. Maybe get it off the internet and do it on CDs and stuff and sell it at cons. I would love if people did that, but I don't think CDs anymore. You would get thumb drives. You would get like cheap thumb drives and sell it on a thumb drive. Nobody has a CD player anymore. Nobody has a DVD drive on their computer anymore. Buy a bunch of cheap thumb drives, sell your game on a thumb drive. I think that's cool. Collective shout situation from a few mainstream YouTubers, and holy crap, the situation reminds me of a certain YouTuber that tried to morally grandstand. Ooh, I don't know that one. PayPal comment, thanks for the gay porn. Yeah, that person's PayPal will be nuked. I hear the heavy breathing. You must be hurting really bad. Hope it gets better soon. It comes and goes. It comes and goes. Sorry for everyone who's hearing me like breathe heavy. I'm old and I'm kind of falling apart. It happens, and you might be hearing my dog. I will verify you later, Kai. Don't worry. Maybe if you hadn't have left my server. Just saying. Should not be allowed to do it. No, they shouldn't be, but they are. They are doing it. There's a lot of things that shouldn't be allowed right now, and we can't rely on the fact that we shouldn't allow people to do that. I don't know, Kai. I was just saying it. I don't know if you ever were in, to be honest. Us allowing people to do stuff, well, we aren't allowing them to do stuff. They still are doing it. The law isn't allowing them to do stuff. They're still doing it. People are still doing all these horrible things, no matter whether they're allowed or not. It's because there's this moral superiority idea that goes around. The immediate I cannot say that situation with the first game drama where she was basically morally grandstanding for video game characters. Anidia Sarkisian? I'm not familiar with that, so I'm sorry. It's crazy how quickly everyone bends to the will of credit companies. This is reality of a duopoly. The Gamergate lady? I'll be honest. Gamergate happened at a time that I was not really as plugged in as I am now. So, I don't know enough about Gamergate to speak on it. Gamergate happened when I was doing reporting for actual newspapers, and I was doing like local reporting. Have a good night, Kai. Not that I know of. Just like help out content creators that you think are rad. Like, share love with people who are creating good games. Share love with people who are creating content that goes against the norm. Help that, you know? You went through your conservative period for Gamergate. I mean, I think a lot of people go through a conservative period. I don't mean that as a strike against anyone, because I think a lot of us do go through a period where we're like, conservatism. I want everything to stay the same, and change scares me. Damn those progressives. You also were young, okay? Sean, you were Anita Sarkeesian? Okay. Call or send written complaints. There's this list, but I can't say how effective it'll be, but it can't hurt. If you want to drop the link, yeah, do it. I don't know how effective those will be, purely on the fact because I think the payment processors were already looking for an excuse. They weren't. This wasn't like Collective Shout made them change their minds. This was like, oh, we finally have somebody that we can say told us to do this, you know? Take care, Kai. Be well, okay? And I think that's what it comes down to, is they really had somebody where they were like, oh yeah, we can do this. This is okay. Collective Shout told us to do it. So I don't know. I know a lot of people are going to get down on Collective Shout. I'm not sure exactly how much I would blame them. I still put most of the blame on the payment processors. I think they are a group that is making a lot of noise, and I don't know if they're like explicitly anti-LGBTQ, but the payment processors, my belief is they are using them as the way to be that way. Oh yeah, they are supporting censorship. They are absolutely supporting censorship. I don't believe in a lot of their views. I don't. I see where they're coming from. I'd be a liar if I said I didn't see where they're coming from. Noble intentions, but the road to hell is always paved with that, isn't it? I don't think reaching out to payment processors is going to make anything worse, but yeah, I don't think it's going to do anything good. I don't think it's going to make any difference. Like, I really wish that there was a solution that I knew that would be like, yo, let's all join voices and say that we don't like this. I'm not sure if that works on this. Unless you could get people to stop completely. Here's how you would effectively win. And I don't think anybody would do this. Stop all purchases on Steam. Show the payment processors, show the PPs. I can't say the word today. Show the PPs that if you try to censor Steam, we're just going to leave it completely. But then again, that hurts Steam. That hurts Steam. And the solution is from the guy that painted Chase Banks. There's this one YouTuber that has gone into detail about how Collective Shout Group and the one movie they're supporting is kind of gross. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that they support cuties. I heard that they pushed pretty hard for cuties. I heard that. But here we can, I'm going to link over to the ACLU petition, because if anything, that is that's something that we can at least say that is a pretty legitimate thing. So here's the ACLU petition. By all means, Alex Schaefer. Whoa. Because, yeah, at no point should the livelihood of anybody who is a sex worker, and if you make an adult game, you are a sex worker. Of course you did, Iceman. You're an absolute joy. Appreciate you. If you make an adult game, you are a sex worker. Make no doubt about that. At no point should my livelihood, or livelihood of any other person who is a sex worker, be at risk because a company decides what is morally correct. You know? And places don't get to decide that, you know? Places don't get to decide what is morally correct and what isn't, you know? But you know what is morally correct? This mask. This possum mask is so morally correct. You cannot find any fault in it. Take a look at that beautiful. beautiful thing. Sorry. Oh god. Corporate interests should not dictate the arts. No, it should not. No. Because that's what it is. It is art. I'm also worried they might come after furry YouTubers. They're going to go after furry Twitch first. Furry Twitch first before furry YouTubers. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Furry Twitch goes kind of like ham a little bit. Take a look at furry VR chat on Twitch, and oh god, surprised that some of them are allowed to do that. Sean Marks, get yourself a nice glass of milk and calm down for the night. It's okay. It's okay. Don't be angry. Don't be angry. What does being angry do? Helps no one. Beta did nothing wrong. He's a cool guy. Yeah, I mean, he seems like a decent guy. I mean, I disagree with him on quite a few points, but, you know, he seems like a decent guy. I don't think they'd ban him, hun. Don't worry. But you love furry Twitch? I mean, the thing is, it's an easy target, hon. To be fair, they won't ban furry Twitch. What they will ban is for VR chat. They'll ban VR chat on Twitch, which that hits the furry community pretty hard. Sorry. VR chat might become one of those games that like gets banned because of sexualization issues. If you disagree, cool, but it's true. They want you to spend money. They do. They want you to spend money. But if they can get rid of something without being too much of a cost, then they absolutely will. I literally have a furry friend that recently became a Twitch affiliate. Hell yeah, rock on. I'm not a big fan of Twitch anymore. I'm a little jaded. I'm not gonna lie. But you know, good on them for that. Now, if we can only take all our money and make a better bank credit union, why don't you invest in the Abbey Credit Union? I promise you, I'm not just going to use this money for personal gain. Just invest in Abbey. You're trapped in a drive-thru? Oh no! Oh no, the story of us all being trapped in drive-thrus. I think that is an allegory for the situation that's going on right now. Being trapped in a drive-thru. Without being stuck in an area where they're wanting money from you, but they're telling you that you can't give money. Oh, it is. Well, Ricola. Hopefully, again, Ricola. I want to see you at Philadelphia. I absolutely do. I have to. What's it called? I have to get a hotel. Flight is good. Yeah, I'm planning on it, but I'm gonna be busting butt a little bit. I'm gonna be busting butt to fundraise to get that a cheap Airbnb. That's what we're gonna do. Abby is gonna go to a Motel 6. Yeah, Motel 6 it, or Motel 4. I'll go to a Motel 4. I'm not asking for that. I can supply that myself. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna boof the event at Philadelphia. I assure you, that is not happening. Will your panel be recorded? No. I specifically don't record that panel because it's a lot of sensitive information. I mean, do you guys want to hear about like what I do for the panel? Like, we just go over like kink and how it's intertwined with furry history. First trash podcast to be at the con. Ooh, that would be cool. Not likely though. Not likely. Trash Girls probably not ready for being at the con yet. But yeah, the what's it called? I go over furry history and how kink has been intertwined in it since the get-go. We go over some common kinks that furries may encounter. We go over some safety measures. Then we end out with I hand out like note cards to everybody at the start for them to write down a kink that they would like to discuss, and then we end out with like a Q&A. You know? Yeah, in that Q&A portion, somebody might be revealing something that's a little bit more intimate, you know? Something that they are scared to reveal. So we have a strict policy of like, I have a strict policy. I say we. I have a strict policy of nothing is recorded. What happens in that room stays in that room because I don't want people to feel afraid to talk about that stuff. And stop waiting for stuff to be perfect. Just hit record. No. Ricola, trust me. We're waiting on something. I assure you. We're waiting on something. Am can say how awesome it is. Am has seen how awesome it is. So give it time. Patience. Your patience will be rewarded. I assure you. How long to the con? End of the month. End of August. Dumpster to be delivered for them. Yes, I have to have my dumpster delivery area. Grunkly Floof, don't do anything though. Burn out. Please don't. Anyhow, that's going to support you, and then I'm out. Well, why? Hang out for the con. Are you not going to support Am? Am's going to have a panel. Support Am. Support our fancy skunk. I want to go to the improv panel. Have a good night, Iceman. Take care. Yeah. A fancy skunk has a panel at Philadelphia. Oh, sorry. Maybe I shouldn't be announcing it, but it was announced on Fancy's Blue Sky. Let me read the post real quick. As Fancy's sitting in the drive-thru and probably being like, Abby, shut up. Shut up, Abby. And I'm like, no, I don't shut up. According to Fancy, written 10 hours ago. Oh God, Philadelphia accepted my improv panel that I submitted with Barky Foxtrot. So, if you want to make some noise in Philly in late August, I'm your girl, I guess. Yes, we are blatantly ripping off the format of the hit Dropout show. Yes, it will be audience participation. No, we don't have any idea what we're doing. So, from what I know, I don't know a time for Am. I know a time for mine. I guess that they gave me a time because, let's be fair, mine's more adult. And you can't do mine earlier in the day. You can't do mine earlier in the day. You can't do my panel earlier in the day. Because, yeah. You might get kids. So mine's at 10:30 on Friday. I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know how much recording is allowed. There's not going to be any recording at mine. I will damn well make sure that there is no recording on that. But yeah, they have not released the schedule yet. But yeah. They sent me a thing to confirm my scheduled time. I'm in panel room number 1. I'm fancy. I'm not fancy. Fancy's here as well. But knowing my luck, Fancy and I are gonna have the same slot. We're gonna have the exact same slot. it'll be like, you did panels before, but has Am done a panel before? Ricola, I can't answer that. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sure Am is currently in drive-through hell, though, so we don't know. We have to wait for Am to be out of the drive-through. But yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just happy that like I'm getting to. I needed a win, guys. I needed a win. I'm gonna be honest. I needed a win. So this is my win. This is my win to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go to this and I'm gonna have fun with it. And next paycheck, I'm gonna be getting the what's it called? The badge. So, yay! I'll get my reg. And worst comes to worst, I am going to be doing what's it called? I will just hop the through the. I'll find spaces in the con to sleep. Who knows? I'll be like, all right, here's a good place to bed down for the night. Da da da. Sleep in the hotel. You never know. You never know. I could pull that, possibly. Who knows? Anyhow. I've talked pretty much all I wanted to talk about this stuff for this night. I can get a place for Friday at least. I mean, that's the thing. I'm gonna go and I'll see what plane tickets I get this weekend and then figure out the hotel from there. Because I'm also gonna have a little bit of money that is not in yet, but will be in from my other site that I stream on. So, yeah, be able to get a little bit from there. Anyhow, I'm probably gonna get ready to get off for the night. I'm just gonna start chilling out a little bit more, winding down. I did work a full day today, so I'm still a little bit out of it. You're gonna be in the Kensington League over your face dreaming against the walls of the world. What? What does that even mean? I have no idea what that means. I have no idea what that means. Crazy thing is, I'm about to start be getting like some of my payout maturity allowed here for my other site, so I need to kind of push it on the other site. You're glad you got to say hi? Well, I'm glad you got to say hi too. I appreciate it. I will be back online tomorrow, but not here. I love you, and I think you guys are awesome, but I'm gonna be doing somewhere else tomorrow. So I think you're wonderful, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Take care of yourselves. Be good, and screw payment processors who try to think that they can control us. They can't. We are stronger than all of them, and we are better than all of them, and we will not go quietly, and we will not disappear. Support adult workers, support adult creators, and support yourself. Never be afraid to be yourself. Love you guys. Take care.